Welcome to an insightful discussion live from the Maruti Suzuki Imagine Next to how Maruti Suzuki is planning to drive a sustainable future, their vision for 2025, and much more. To understand what creating a sustainable future entails, please join me in welcoming the magnificent CV Raman, Chief Technical Officer, Maruti Suzuki. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'll just start by asking you, how proud are you of Maruti Suzuki, of what it had to offer to the world on day one of the Auto Expo 2023?
Well, we have a legacy of 40 years,
Yes.
I'm very proud to be part of that for a very long time. And today, what we are unveiled, the EVX concept, is our step towards a sustainable future going forward.
Indeed, it is. And I personally am super excited and was, stunned to see what Maruti Suzuki had to offer, the kind of changes that they're bringing about, with the times that we are living in. Well, it certainly is a bold step into the future. So congratulations to you, Raman.
Thank you.
And of course, I want to get a more insight about how do you feel about it and how do you think EVX is going to be a game changer in the industry?
Well, it's our first global strategic EV product, which we plan to launch in 2025. And Maruti Suzuki has been selling SUV products, around the world, including the Grand Vitara, which we launched recently, and before that, the S-Cross and the iconic Jimny. So, we believe that the 4x4 technology, the DNA of that incorporated into a SUV with the latest advanced features. Today, if you see the EVX, it looks like a Suzuki and a Maruti Suzuki product in a way. So, and this is our very important step, I believe, towards our goal of sustainable business for Suzuki Global as well as for Maruti Suzuki.
Indeed, every point that holds in the future and everything, talking points that have been, highlighted in the automobile sector that has been catered to. I'm sure, Raman-san, the concept certainly looks exciting. Do you feel that BEVs are the way forward for the automobile industry?
I believe that BEV is one strategy towards a sustainable mobility. There are many pathways, we believe, towards sustainability in a way. Maruti Suzuki has been, looking at various types of strategies in line with, what is available in India. And India being a agrarian economy, so to speak, we need to also see what are the benefits which we can reap out of that, make best use of the energy mix which is available in India. And so from that aspect, I think when we look at carbon neutrality, we look at two things. Carbon neutrality is about how do you create a carbon sink and how do you reduce carbon. And that's how you can achieve carbon neutrality. So carbon sink is being considered by the government, and India is one of the few governments which is actually working towards a carbon sink, I believe. Whereas then look at carbon footprint, there are many strategies which we have. Maruti Suzuki has been looking at CNG in a large way. We have 14 models which have CNG. And in future, we are going to also look at CBG, which is biogas, which is a carbon negative fuel. So that's also a very important step towards carbon neutrality. Apart from that, if you look at, and I talked about agrarian economy, using food or food grain for making fuel, ethanol is the way. So we are moving towards ethanol 20% blending as India in 2025. We will make all our vehicles compatible with that by April 2023 and participate in that. And when it becomes, in 2025, Pan-India E20 will be available. We will have our vehicles ready for meeting that requirement. Apart from that, we are also looking at flex fuel. So if you can increase, because a lot of ethanol is available in India, we can, and we have showcasing a prototype of a flex fuel vehicle, which we had shown to the government also. And in 2025, that will also be ready. And so these are all fuels which are, kind of reduce the carbon footprint. And, a CNG can improve the fuel efficiency by 25%, 20 to 25%. A flex fuel vehicle can actually give you a benefit of almost 79 to 80%. So I think these are the benefits which we believe are going to contribute towards our sustainability goals going forward.
Just listening to you, I wish I could take out a better word from my dictionary, but the point is that this is a cool way of living, because everything that we were, talking about in our books, which remained in our books in the classroom, it has come to practicality, and, Maruti Suzuki being at the forefront of it. Now, could you elaborate a little more in terms of the technology that Maruti Suzuki has been working on towards a sustainable future?
When you look at sustainability, we're not, till now we talked about product, we talked about fuel, but I think it's all about the entire ecosystem. And when we look at life cycle, sustainability is all about end to end. So from cradle to grave, in a way, how do you manage that? And manufacturing of product, whether it's a component, whether it is a product, entails that. And Maruti Suzuki has been working towards this in a big way, so to speak. And we have the lowest corporate average fuel efficiency, which is a metric for any product on the product side in India today. And we, with our new technologies, we will be able to further improve and meet the future CAFE related, targets which the government may mandate. And having said that, this is we are looking at, as I explained, looking at various types of technologies. EVX is one step towards the sustainability from an electric mobility perspective, but we also have hybrid technology. We have a mild hybrid, we have a strong hybrid. They improve fuel efficiency by 7% and 30%, 35% respectively. And so this also reduces the carbon footprint. The other aspect which we need to look at, and I talked about manufacturing from end to end, we are looking at how we can use clean energy for manufacturing. We have a large solar park in our facilities, and we are able to use that captive power for manufacturing. So in a way, so we have almost 25 megawatts of solar power which we use in our factories, which are able to reduce or offset 5,000 tons of carbon dioxide annually. And this will be a continuous thing which will happen for the next 25 years. And also we're a zero discharge company. And so therefore that's a very important thing for any company, that you don't discharge any effluent or anything into the Mother Earth. So I think these are some of the things which we believe are important. And this is our conviction with our our ecosystem. And we're looking at green manufacturing in a big way, including our suppliers and our partners. We're also looking at how our dealerships deal with servicing of vehicles and how we can save water while we are servicing. And almost, I think, 13-50 million liters of water is saved by adoption of dry wash in our service centers. So I think these are many things. And when you talk about ecosystem, there are so many pieces which are there which need to be looked at. And overall, if you're able to reduce the carbon footprint, actually you're able to move towards a sustainable goal. And India has a very ambitious target, given the fact that we have to move, we have to have economically, we have to grow, which increases the carbon footprint, but we also need to ensure that we keep reducing it. And so it's a double-edged thing which we need to do. And so therefore I think it's a very challenging thing, but I believe it's huge opportunity. And Maruti Suzuki is going to work towards all these pieces in a way for a sustainable future.
So, sir, it's basically growth with a certain element of consciousness, and that's absolutely amazing. I mean, we all know that Maruti Suzuki as a brand has always kept its customers first, but now it's keeping the planet first. That's even more commendable. Now, it's clear that of course, you've got the right process, not just at the very end of the product, but also from the very beginning. But you also mentioned managing products at their end of life. Would you like to elaborate a little more on that?
So two aspects of business. So when I talked about cradle to grave, we're talking about now when you there is a useful life of a product, and once the useful life is met, which could be 15 years or 20 years, what do you do with that product? So Maruti Suzuki has partnered with Toyota Tsusho, and we have a joint venture which is called MSTI, which is at Noida, which has a responsibility for recycling. So we are able to recycle the vehicle. So anything which is end of life after 15 years, like say in NCR in Delhi. So 15 years life for a petrol vehicle, 10 years for a diesel vehicle. After 10 years, it comes off the road. What do we do with that vehicle? You can't park it. You need to recycle it. So what do? We disassemble it. And then we break it into parts or products or materials. So steel, plastic, everything is kind of separated, and then it is reused into the manufacturing process. Okay, so that's how we say that can we recover. So what is our recoverability for a vehicle? So recoverability is we are targeting 95% recoverability, and then what can you recycle? We are able to recycle 85% of that material to recycle. So these are targets which are there in EU, in Europe and all, but we are now actually as Maruti Suzuki following that in our in a way, in order to ensure that we are responsible towards the planet. So from that way, in that process, we use 100% of the steel, which is if there is any scrap or anything, everything is kind of recycled. So that's, I think we have been doing this very, very actively. How to do that is also important, because from our supplier side also we need to monitor what all is coming as a product to Maruti for assembly, and so is that recyclable. So we need to also map that, and we have a data system which we call the IMDS, which tracks this data. And so based on that, we are able to make a recyclability and a reusability target for ourselves, and we look at it in every aspect of our manufacturing, including, say, when a part is it coming in what kind of packaging? Are we able to recycle the packaging? We use reusable packaging, and we also recycle the packaging. So 17% of the packaging material, like in the all-new Brezza, which was recently launched, in comparison with the outgoing model, 17% improvement was there as far as the recycling was concerned. So we continue to use this, and we have today almost a 68% recycling in our packaging material. So these are things which we work continuously, and we try to have a metric of measurement for what we are input is there, what is recyclable, what is reusable, and that's our responsibility towards the planet.
Well, that is incredible, because that's certainly quite an effort by Maruti Suzuki. Because just keeping your consciousness intact in business, you're also opening so many think tanks, which also open so much employment opportunities for various sectors. Now, how would you like to put this entire effort as MSIL's big picture?
It's our approach towards sustainability is very comprehensive. We are calling this circular mobility in a way. We are saying that product, manufacturing, service, and recycling. These are the 4 pillars on which we are building this circular mobility. This is something which we all want to work towards. All the stakeholders of Maruti Suzuki, dealer partners, our supplier partners, Maruti within our system. How do we work towards the circular mobility and have metrics and improve this recycling, reusability, in a way, and reduce the carbon footprint in a way. And so that's our responsibility as a responsible corporate.
This is incredible, but I see a challenge here is that, while the big picture is very clear for a large corporation like yours, how does it trickle down in order to change the thought patterns? Because that becomes extremely critical. How can we raise more awareness around sustainability that we often still don't see?
So I think it's a difficult and a complex issue, and we're not used to uh, acting that way. As whatever you get, you use it and then you throw it, but you don't really bother about what you have done. So in a way, it's something which we need to think about it and see what we are doing and whatever I'm doing, what is the end of life of that. So in a way, if one starts thinking about it, you can actually kind of understand this principle in your daily life. So engaging with society and engaging with people and making them understand this is an important aspect. It's like using a pet bottle and throwing that. Is that a good thing? Or use bottles which you can recycle it. And many of the hotels you go, you see that you don't get a PET bottle, but you get a glass bottle which is using RO water or something like that, and that gets recycled. So this is something which we need to do. Similarly, as Maruti Suzuki, we have how we can provide safe water to villages. So we have adopted certain villages around our plants, and we are able to give them water through ATM, clean water. And this is potable water, and they can fill it and then they can use it. And this is our way of giving back to society in a way. But I also believe that it's a practice. It's inherent. And then the sustainability tree, which you saw outside in our booth, that also talks a little bit about it.
Yes.
That what is it that I am going to do as an individual, and how I can practice it. And there are so many things which actually one can do. And when I was doing that, I realized that so many other things which I don't do. So can I do? So I think that's the realization is very important for everybody.
This is really interesting. What you've mentioned is because it's so important for us to make these changes in our daily lives, to also understand better the kind of investment in terms of time, money, and effort large corporations like yours is doing in order to make this planet a better place. And it's our duty to understand that. So would you like to tell us a life hack or something that you inculcated in your personal life to be more sustainable?
Reusability in a way is something which one needs to do. And nowadays what one does is that pretty much carry a shopping bag and daily groceries. You try to use whatever, and you carry a bag and then reuse it. So that's one way in which you are kind of reducing in some way usage of plastic or single-use plastic, or in a way reusing certain things. And so from a mindset perspective, a little different from the current generation, is about preserving things and being able to reuse it and use it for a longer period of time. I think that's something which is again ingrained,
Yes.
Which is maybe very different.
Yes.
But that is something, if one can do that, maybe it could kind of move towards sustainability, reduce carbon footprint, because you're using less.
Right.
And the usage becomes more. So in a way that becomes sustainable. So things like that are, I believe, important in one's life to practice, and that's what I do personally.
I think I learned a little something here. Use less so that the usage is more. Well, that's wonderful, Raman. I have to tell you that I've actually really enjoyed this chat with you, and I'm taking back some personal feedback
Thank you.
that I have inculcated from this particular chat. Thank you so much.
Glad it was helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.